Good. So hello to Charles Eisenstein, who is the author of The Ascent of Humanity and Sacred Economics, Money, Gift, Society in the Age of Transition. One of those books that I very rarely buy books of this size, and the fact that I couldn't put it down and have probably underlined more in this book than any other book that I've read. I'm Mike Grenville from Transition Forest Row. And we're talking today on behalf of Permaculture Day. Thank you very much, Charles, for speaking to us today. So can you just start out and tell us what you see the connection between all of your thinking about sacred economics and permaculture? How do you see the connection between the two?
Yeah, well, I thought of two main points of connection. One thing, I talk about how money is basically society's agreement about what is valuable and what isn't. And today, it's obvious that the things that money is going toward are not really valuable to the planet, to our future, whereas things like permaculture are valuable. The question then is, why do we have a money system that where if you want to make a lot of money, you could go into maybe agribusiness or pharmaceuticals or something like that, or banking. Yeah. But if you go into permaculture, you're not going to get rich doing permaculture right now. Well, why? Because permaculture is really valuable.
Yeah.
So there's a problem with the money system because money should encourage and reward the things that are serving the planet, serving humanity, serving society. So one of the things I write about in the book is how do we change money? And in fact, this change is already kind of underway, or it's wanting to happen. But how do we change money so that it's in alignment with what's becoming sacred to us? For example, healthy ecosystems, healthy societies, and so forth. So that's one area of relationship to permaculture. Another thing is that kind of the basic operating philosophy underneath sacred economics is the gift.
Yep.
I talk a lot about gift economics. I talk a lot about it's not abandoning money, but it's how to change money, maybe even change the way that it's issued, the way that it circulates, so that it has more of the properties of the gift. And I think that the gift, you could even apply the gift kind of as a cosmological lens and see the whole world, the whole universe in gift terms. And I think that, like, for example, ecology you can see as a circle of gifts, right? Because, you don't have linear consumption and waste in ecology. The waste of every being is food for something else.
Yep.
Well, now I'm getting pretty close to permaculture, aren't I?
You are indeed, yep.
So the basic operating philosophy is the same. So that's why I see permaculture as really being, deeply linked to sacred economics.
Yeah. Now, in your book, Sacred Economics, you talk about the debt crisis as an opportunity for transition. So, what do you think? What do you see that opportunity as? And I mean, the potential for collapse or transition is one that many of us engage in thinking and speculating about. How do you see? How do you see things playing out?
I think that even in personal life, people don't usually make huge changes in their lives until the world falls apart in some way. And
you get fired or something.
Yeah, you get fired. Your spouse walks out, something like that. Your health falls apart, and metaphorically speaking, all of these things are happening to humanity collectively.
They're already happening. The future's already here. It's just not evenly spread.
Right. Right now, we're still at the stage that we can pretend that it's still working, or we can pretend with just a little bit of self-deception that normal's going to come back.
In certain parts of the world, it's
right.
True. Not everywhere, but
we, meaning the segment of humanity that is maintaining the status quo. Right. So among the power elite, for example, you can still pretend that things are just fine.
Yeah,
that doesn't include
places like Ireland or Greece or Portugal.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe if you're like, in the 1% of Ireland and you live in some enclave, you could still pretend, but maybe not. I don't know. But basically, the time is coming where it will become impossible to pretend, and that pretense could be punctured by another financial crisis, or it could be some other kind of crisis, geopolitical, natural disaster or something. And then a crisis like that, or a disaster like that, kind of frees us from our habitual ways of doing things and seeing things, and then like anything becomes possible.
Yeah. So what's the message to permaculture then? If you see this crisis emerging, there seems to be quite an important message, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. I guess my message right now would be that when things fall apart, the hopelessly radical becomes common sense. So right now, permaculture is kind of, as Ken Casey put it, an island of the future and an ocean of the past. But someday, permaculture is going to be common sense, and the people who are pioneering it now are doing something really important for the future. So my message is believe in yourself, and don't listen to those little voices that say that what you're doing is crazy.
That's great. Thank you so much, Charles Eisenstein. Thanks. We look forward to hearing more. I think the things that we thought were not possible one day are certainly becoming possible. So your vision is very timely. Thank you very much for speaking to us today. And you can read this, and all the others on permacultureday.info. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Charles.